All right, today is a very exciting episode of Connect. I'm here with Edgar Gonzalez, co-founder of Gold Star Vodka. And you know, it's a really cool story because today we're going to go all the way from hoverboards to vodka. And not literally, like we're not going to be riding and drinking and riding, but the way this all came about is pretty fascinating. So Edgar, thank you so much for being here.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here for sure. Thank you for having me.
And the branding is spot on. I love the branding.
Yep.
And I know that it has meaning. So tell us, why Gold Star?
So first and foremost, so we are an American-made, better-known vodka brand. We're out of here in Atlanta. So we decided to actually go with the black bottle because we're kind of, as veterans, we're kind of go off of a rugged type of look. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we don't want to portray the whole like F-ISIS, type of ordeal,
right,
like some other veteran brands do. So we try to class it up a little bit, with the gold,
wow,
on there to kind of bring out the black and the, the matte black, this, that, and the other. And I would say that the actual Gold Star comes from, it's actually in the back of the bottle. So back here kind of explains, that we give $2 of every bottle that we sell back to Gold Star families, which if nobody knows what a Gold Star family is, it's, a family that's lost a loved one from overseas, from, Iraq, Afghanistan, and it goes all the way back to, World War II.
Wow. Wow. I want to read this out loud. Gold Star Vodka, a veteran brand spirit created to give back to the families who lost loved ones serving in the global war on terrorism and to the veterans who came home with the physical and emotional scars of that war. For each bottle purchased, Local Choice will donate $2 to these truly worthy causes. I mean, if you're going to drink vodka.
Yeah, drink Gold Star Vodka.
Yeah, I mean, there's a purpose behind it. And your website is goldstarvodka.us.
Yes.
Great website as well, very cohesive branding.
Yeah.
But just, it's a great mission, and obviously I have a personal feelings about it because my grandfather, who's actually still alive, he's 96, served in World War II. He was on the beaches of Normandy.
Oh man, so real American hero then,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And he actually lives in Augusta, Georgia. So it's just full circle there. With so many ways to drink alcohol today, why start a vodka brand beyond the mission? How did you get to vodka? Let's start with the hoverboard story.
Okay, so like I talked to you before, I want to make sure to make a long story very short version. So all started out on me and my roommate were at the house and we're on the couch, and his brother from Dubai was like, "Hey man, have you ever seen these hoverboards?" And like he was showing us a video of them, these guys riding through the streets of Dubai, And I was like, "Nah, I've never seen them." He said, "Well, check it out. I'm gonna send you 2 boards. Y'all learn how to ride them, Yeah, exactly. And you learn how to ride them, see what happens, and if you think we can make a business out of it, let's do it."
And what year was that?
This was like 2016.
Okay.
Or 2015,
Ish.
like around this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." Boom. And because he's kind of a rich guy, 2 days later from Dubai, these boards,
arrived.
They arrived at the house. So, during this time, I was still active Army, and I was, going to school at night, from 6:30 to 9:30. And so I didn't really think nothing of it, right? Because I was like, man, I got too much on my plate, and I don't want to, start, sucking at the military stuff, start sucking in school. So I really wanted to get my priorities straight. But once we started writing them, and we started going to, Walmarts and started getting, this big exposure, we're like, let's go to somewhere big, somewhere like where more people can actually, get the best buck out of our money. So we went to Lenox
Square Mall.
Bucket,
yep, very familiar. You will make it on Snapchat trending if you go there with some sort of cool thing. I might know from experience. If you want to Google the privet suit, I showed up at Lenox Square Mall wearing basically a bush. I was like a human bush, and I was just walking down, and I made it on Snapchat trending. So I totally get it.
Yeah, that's
another
crazy.
Story for another time. But yeah, so you show up at Lenox with 2 hoverboards and
huge crowds.
Yeah.
There was just a bunch of crowds, people asking, "Oh, what's this? Do you have a business card?" And at that time, we made business cards out of our Microsoft Word. Like we didn't know anything. We didn't know nothing
baller.
about nothing. Yeah.
Hashtag baller.
Yeah. And so we just, started handing out these, business cards from Microsoft Word. And the guys that were trying to buy the board, the ones that we had were scratched up. We were trying to test it, throwing it on the pavement. So they're busted up. We wanted to see how durable they were. So fast forwarded, we kind of blew up from there. We got a lot of followers, and then Safari, which is like Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend, contacted me and was like, hey man, so if you send me a free board, I will go ahead and I'll post this up, and then you're gonna get a lot of followers. And I was like, man, I don't really know. I don't really know you, man. Like,
are you for real?
Yeah. So I was like, well, and I'm still tight on money. I was like, check this out. I was like, I'm gonna buy a ticket over to LA. I'm gonna meet you, see what type of guy you are, make sure I'm not just getting catfish or something,
right.
And I was like, I'm gonna see what's up. So he's like, all right, man, I'm here. I'm waiting. So I go up there with a couple $100s in my pocket. I go over there. I'm going to like the crappiest hotel. Like I didn't have no money. And he rolls up in his nice car, and I was like, okay. So I was like, that's a good sign. So I hop in there. We go to his place. Him and his assistant, they kind of work a couple videos. He finally posts one. We had like 8 sales that night. We were selling our boards for like $800.
Wow.
A board.
Next level.
Yeah. So the next level is that it kind of blew us up from there. So at that point in time, we had Warner Brothers, the props agencies that, they're like, hey, let's try to get your board into Captain America: Civil War. Let's try to get you in this video, with Snoop Dogg and a couple other people. So, like it just kind of blew up. We're opening up our storefront in the Mall of Georgia, like up there.
Great place.
Buford.
Yeah.
Right. So like it kind of blew up. Music videos. I mean, a lot of stuff was happening. And then so Mr. Cuban, he bought the patent to these boards, and overnight we kind of like had to close down everything.
Yeah.
So as we were going back to our contacts, and we're like, hey, I'm sorry, we can't probably go any further from here just due to legalities and this, that, and the other. They were like, don't worry about it. Next big thing that you come up with, let us know, and we'll make sure to put it in front of like millions of eyes. Because
you're a solid dude, and you put quality of relationship over just trying to sell a product.
Right, exactly. And so I build really good relationships with these people. They're awesome, And so I was like, okay. And and one of the last things they said, they were like, oh, by the way, we make liquor brands to what they are today. So I guess it kind of put like a seed, kind of like in my head, and then my brother-in-law's head. And so, so kind of after that, we still kept contact. And then my brother-in-law, Mark, he was kind of like, hey man, so let's do a vodka. I'm like, yeah, that's true. And I was like, why vodka? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I think it's like I think at the time, more Americans consumed vodka at the time. And I was like, all right. And I was like, well, let's do a veteran brand, because there's a lot of veteran whiskeys, there's bourbons, there's beer, but there's no vodka, And it was kind of like we were kind of going back with ideas and stuff. And he was like, all right, well, let's give back. And I was like, absolutely, let's do it, So we came up with this, Gold Star vodka that gives $2 of every bottle back to Gold Star families, And, we hooked up with Local Choice, and, Paula from Local Choice, she's awesome too. So she believes in the same mission that we're trying to go on, And she agreed to what we were trying to do and how we're trying to do it. And so we all partnered up, and next thing you know, we have a vodka out of Atlanta that we're trying to push, and, trying to make a difference, not only like in the liquor industry, but in the veteran community as well. And
you've been able to donate over $20,000 to this to Local Choice, correct?
Right.
That's not nothing. And you're getting ready to write another check.
Yeah, this Veterans Day.
Yeah.
This Veterans Day, we're trying to do one. So.
Wow. So if people want to buy Gold Star vodka, again, if you're over 21 or over.
Yes.
Where do they do that?
So you can either go on our website. So if you don't live in Georgia, right, or South Carolina, then you can go on our website and goldstarvodka.us, and then you'll be able to sit there and order. And there's actually a drop-down menu where you pick which state you're in, and it kind of depends on the state, just because of like liquor licensing and state laws,
right?
This and that, the other. So If you can't order on the website, then you might just have to drive down to Georgia and
come visit us.
Yeah, come to here. So the biggest liquor stores in Georgia is Towers in Buckhead. You got Z&Z Package, which is like Southside Atlanta. You got Minx, City Wine, pretty much like any liquor store that you can just about go to.
Right,
it's there.
That's where you'll find it. Now, because my iPad is super secure, there we go. It'll shut down,
good,
so people can't get into it. Is there a way for you to donate to families of fallen soldiers? Like, let's say you're watching this on YouTube and you live in Japan and you can't really make it to Georgia, South Carolina, or deal with the shipping to get this vodka, but you want to donate. Is there maybe a button on the site that might be going up where people can just donate directly?
So actually, that's kind of a good question, because so on our website right now, we do not have, I guess, a button that you can donate to. But what we do have is our partner, John Burke. He just kind of came on board. And he's kind of a big figure in the veteran community as well.
Great.
He does his own kind of on the side project of a charity that he does. So if you can look up John Burke and look up one of his charities, 100% of them go back to veterans.
Oh, that's great.
I feel bad for not thinking about exactly what the name is on top of my head, but it's a gaming thing.
Yeah, we can Google it, and then we can put it in the link below. That's the power of the internet. And so when you're watching on YouTube, you'll click this link, and you'll be able to follow the work of John Burke and support the charities that he's promoting.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, because, again, like, we are in Atlanta, Georgia right now, but this video is going to live on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and so like you never know who's going to watch it.
Yeah.
And given your connections, I mean, you're kind of a big deal, and you're making an impact, and people are going to want to rally and support, even if they don't drink, right? Some people don't drink,
right?
But
some people just have it at the house, just
to say like, hey, I'm supporting this brand, I'm supporting this entrepreneur, and I'm supporting the mission to give back. So how can a community, both a global and local, support you and your team? What do you need? How can we help?
Well, first, I think the biggest one would just go to your local liquor store and either buy the product, or if we're not in your state right now, go to your liquor stores, go to your bars, go to your restaurants, and then ask them, hey, do you have Gold Star vodka? And they say no, but like, hey, well, make that continuous effort to go there and spread that word and spread that knowledge and create that demand. And a lot of states like Texas, they need, which is the next state we're about to open up.
Right.
They need that demand from the consumers for them to actually like, what, let's bring this product on.
Let's bring it on.
And John Burke, he's over there too, so that should be pretty successful. And we need the help of the people, the people that support our brand, support our cause, to knock on those doors and let them know, like, hey, let's bring this vodka on so we can make the next big thing.
Absolutely. I'm intrigued by anybody who ventures down a path that is previously unknown. Did you or your partners have any experience in spirits? Or, I mean, like if I today was like, I want to create a vodka line, I wouldn't know the first thing about how to go about doing so.
Well, like, I would say when it came to the actual business piece, I learned a lot of it from, stuff like selling candy when I was a kid. I mean, it just started from there.
Right, yeah.
And then I guess with the hoverboards, I mean, I burned a lot. Like, I had to learn the hard way a lot,
Of course.
And so when I came into this, like, I had a really good experience, and I had a really good game plan of exactly how I wanted to attack it. Now, when it came to the liquor, the only experience I had was probably like all the college nights. And, that was probably the only, or whatever, all the drinking buddies with my Army friends. You know, that was probably the only real experience that I had with like liquor. But
as far as making vodka and consistency of taste and quality assurance, like, those are all things you had to figure out. I'm trying to make a point that, like, you weren't just handed this knowledge base and these connections. You worked for it, you pursued your passion, you have an entrepreneurial spirit, you made it happen.
Right.
And that's really exciting. And anybody out there who's watching is like, man, I would love to do something like that. Do you have any advice? What sort of advice can you give people that are wanting to take that chance and do something big?
I guess I guess the biggest thing is that it's possible. I think that
Yes.
most people don't realize it's possible. So kind of going back to my hoverboard, you know, stuff. So what made me realize that there's money to be out there made. It is possible. So I guess I didn't tell you this. So this is pretty.
Ooh, surprises.
Yeah, this is pretty
Nuggets.
cool. So there was actually a deal that we were supposed to do with the hoverboards with Metro PCS. And I remember we sat down with like the Southeast director of Metro PCS, and we were in Lawrenceville next to the Hooters at that Starbucks. So I don't know if you know where that's off, like, you know, 316 and stuff. And so we were there and we were meeting up with them, and you know, we were trying to close a deal because I know that Metro PCS were coming out with the tablet, and our boards that we had like Bluetooth capabilities on them. So, you know, I came in there with a game plan. Hey, so let's cross market. You know, you can, you know, Bluetooth your tablets to our boards, you know, and then you can have our boards selling at your store, and it'll be kind of like an incentive for your customers to buy the tablet. It was kind of a cross marketing idea, and they were all about it. And, you know, the guy loved it. I was showing him how to ride, this, that, and the other. And next thing you know, he said, well, let me talk to my partners, I'll let you know. And so, all right, cool. So we started walking out to the parking lot, and this guy runs out of Hooters because he saw me riding on it. So he runs out of Hooters, you know. Like a guy running out of Hooters, you know.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, right. So he
Or right.
So he runs out of Hooters, and he stops me, and he's like, hey, man, where can I get those boards? We're like, well, you can get it from us, one, you know. And so my partner at the time, he was Vinny, you know, he was sitting there showing him how to ride and this and that and the other. And the guy, the Metro PCS guy, was like, man, like, that is crazy. He was like, that's the type of like traction you're getting, huh? And I'm like, yeah, man, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, it's gonna work. And you know, the guy, I was like, that guy just literally ran out of Hooters to come talk to us, you know, just letting you know. He's like, yeah. I was like, I don't know. And so I was like, well, quick question. I asked the guy that ran. I was like, who's your cell phone provider? And he goes, Metro PCS. And everybody kind of looked at each other like, you know, like money, you know? Yeah. And he was like, all right, man. So, you know, what, so let's talk. And I was like, okay, now we're talking. I thought we talked before, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, so I'm thinking about like 9 to 10 boards per store, and you give me a wholesale price. So I was like, okay, well, my wholesale price at the time was 400, you know? I was like, okay, well, how many stores do you have? I was like, well, I have 400. So I'm over here like trying to like do the math in my head, you know, like, like subtract, and I was like, you know, whatever, you know? And so I was like, yeah, well, let's do it. And I don't think I need to think about how many O's to collect, you know?
Right,
so I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let me know, talk to your partners. And from there, when I went back to my car and I was sitting there and like calculating everything, I was like, man, that's like 1 point something mil, you know, dollars that's on the line, the deal, you know? And so when I realized like, wow, like it is possible.
It is possible.
You know, like there is, you put enough time and effort, and you know, try to put yourself in the right position with the right product, you know, anything's possible. The sky's the limit, you know? And I think like a lot of people don't realize that. I think they get comfortable. They're like, hey, I think this is as far as I can go.
Or they get depressed.
Yeah, or you know, whatever, you know. And I just say that like believe that it's possible, and I think that's the first step forward, you know.
That's like motto, story of my life on my tombstone. It'll say like, you can do it. Yes, even you. So thank you so much, Edgar Gonzalez, for being here, for being such an inspiration, for being so young and like full of life, and like I just can't wait to see what journey you go down. This is great.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me, for sure. Yeah.
Gold Star Vodka, everybody. Check it out and support Edgar.